A lot of people ask, it's a very loaded question. I don't recommend it. Asking your favorite songwriter, what's your favorite song you've ever written? Such a fucking loaded question. At one point in time, every single song I've written was my favorite song. At one point in time, it was the best thing I've ever done. But over the course of 20 years, time has a very funny way of sifting through those songs and bringing things to the top. There's some songs that I never thought I would play this far into my career that are nightly staples. And there's some songs that I thought for sure was going to be the biggest song I've ever written, and I haven't played it in 10 years. But I knew I had to answer it because that question, it usually doesn't come from fans, it comes from lazy journalists. And I had to I had to have an answer because I couldn't just be like, do a better job at writing. Ask better questions. They tend not to call you back if you insult them on the interview. So there's a lot of metrics to pick what your favorite song is. I've got a lot of songs that are my favorite lyrically. I've got a lot of songs that I love when the band plays. There's some songs that literally pay my bills every month. I like those songs too. But the songs that I pick usually for my favorite songs are the songs that changed my life. So this song is the song that I picked, and I close every show with it. If people ask me what record changed my life, that's very, very easy. There's a record from 2012 called Burn, Flicker, Die. That record changed my life. That record, overnight, we went from playing in front of 20 people to playing in front of 1,000 people, overnight. So that's the song that changed my life, obviously has to come off of this record. But that record almost didn't happen. In 2011, we'd been together as a band for 7 years, touring for 6, and nobody gave a shit about what we were doing. Nobody cared about our songs. But we were on tour with a buddy of ours who was also really good at writing songs, and nobody gave a shit about his songs either. And every night we were traveling around playing pizza parlors and shitty rock clubs, and nobody was listening. But he came up to us at the end of the tour and said, "Where is the record with these songs on it that you've been playing?" And I was like, we can't make that record. After this tour, we're probably not going to do this anymore because it's been 7 years of just losing money and we're out of credit cards. We can't do this anymore. And he made it very clear to us that if we didn't make a record with these songs on it, that we were going to regret it for the rest of our life. He made that very clear that, you're not going to be able to sleep. I just swallowed a bug. Whatever's in that Red Bull will kill it. Or wake it the fuck up. Literally has wings now. But he basically told us, make the record or regret it for the rest of your life. And so he agreed to make the record for us. But we couldn't afford to make a record. So that was the very first record that we asked our fans. And it wasn't even to make the record because he wasn't even charging us to make the record. We asked our fans to pre-order the record so that we could buy a hotel room for 2 weeks to make the record because we didn't have the money to stay somewhere. So our fans chipped in and bought a couple $1,000s worth of records, and we stayed. I'll never forget the extended stay in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. We were sleeping 4 to a room, 2 double beds, 2 dudes in each bed. It was summer camp. It was rock and roll summer camp. But we made this record, and I'm not kidding. The minute this record came out, it was like the universe flipped a switch for us and just said, you guys get to play music for the rest of your life. Cool. And I'm very, very thankful for that friendship. I'm very, very thankful that not only did he produce the record, but he has always been one of the biggest champions of this band. And that friend that we were on tour with was Jason Isbell. You're probably cheering for a different person. You're probably thinking of internationally celebrated folk icon, Jason Isbell. I'm talking about the drunk guy that got kicked out of the drive-by truckers. 2 very different fucking people. They look alike, they look similar. They do not look alike. They look similar. They both have the voice of angels and write songs of generations, but they are 2 very different fucking people. We made the record with the drunk guy that got kicked out of the drive-by truckers. 6 months after we put this record out, he put out a record called Southeastern. And that's where the change happened. That's where he became, you couldn't outrun him. Like, his rocket ship got lit. And we were very, very lucky because we were the opening band for the Southeastern tour. I'm so thankful for his friendship, because not only with music, but he was also one of the leading forces of why I got sober, or how I got sober. He was the first person I called and said, how the fuck do I do this? And he made it very clear. So this is the song. And the reason this is the song, this is what I'm going to leave you with, a very long-winded way of saying this. Before we went down to Muscle Shoals to make this record, he sent me a text and he said, I need you to send me the demos of the record. I said, why? And he's like, because if they suck, I'm backing out and I'm not doing this record. I was like, fuck. And so I sent him a shitty iPhone recording of this song. And before I could send him the second song, I got a text back and it just said, hey, as long as everything sounds like this, we got a record, man. So I didn't send him another fucking song. I was like, yeah, man, that was like one I'm still working on that one, man. If you like that one, everything else is just heaters, man. And so we made this record and our life fucking changed. So this is the song that absolutely, I'm not even exaggerating, changed my life. And I'm gonna leave you with it. It's a song called Burn, Flicker, Die. My name's BJ Barham. I'm in a band called American Aquarium from Raleigh, North Carolina. Thank you guys so much for being here tonight. I know we're back at George's in the fall. I know we're back at Kane's Ballroom in the fall. Hopefully I get to see you at a show. If not, hopefully I get to see you in somebody else's backyard, or maybe sitting across from you and your loved one on a couch. Really appreciate y'all being here. Dollar bill prescriptions in the bathroom stall, red-headed women and alcohol. Said ain't so, said ain't last call. Double whiskey on the rocks and Adderall. Double whiskey on the rocks and Adderall. Oh, we're no different than neon lights. We turn us on, we stay up all night. We do what we can, we put up a fight. We burn too long, we flicker, die. It's nights like these that the drugs don't work. Not that it's getting away instead of picking me up. And I wish my addictions didn't mean so much, but we all can't be born with that kind of luck. You can try, but you won't fix what's wrong with me. Every night I'm my own worst enemy, and I'll find a way to quit when they bury me. 'Cause I can't turn down the drinks when they're free. I can't turn down the drinks when they're free. Oh, we're no different than neon lights. We turn us on, we stay up all night. We do what we can, we put up a fight. We burn too long, we flicker and die. Every girl in that bar looked like 1965, with her sailor tattoos and her drawn out eyes. And every now and then she still crosses my mind. And by every now and then I mean most of the time. By every now and then I mean all of the time. Oh, we're no different than neon lights. We turn us on, we stay up all night. We do what we can, we put up a fight. And we burn too long, we flicker and die. We burn too long, we flicker and die. We burn too long, we we flicker and die. We burn too long, we flicker and die. Thank you guys so much for listening. I appreciate y'all.
Oh, yeah.